the NBA will never have it better in the history of the play-in tournament. It'll never be as good as last night. That's your high water mark. Greatest game in the history of the NBA play-in tournament to date.
So we've got the greatest player
in the history.
In the greatest game.
We can start the debate. Who's the greatest player in the history of the NBA play-in tournament?
It's Jason Tatum.
Throwing Tatum.
It's Jason Tatum.
Well, I mean, he's the most prolific.
Yeah, prolific scorer.
Meanwhile, LeBron triple-double. How about them apples?
Hey.
Oh, it's LeBron then, Rich.
Well,
I take
we
that
said,
back.
no, hold on a second. We said, what's more likely? Curry 50, LeBron triple-double. We're like, Curry 50.
Curry 50.
And then what happened? LeBron triple-double.
LeBron got it.
And the crazy thing was, it sure didn't look like Curry was going to sniff anything close to what he wound up with last night when his first three of the night went through the net with 4 minutes to go in the first half.
Yeah.
And that gave the Warriors a 10-point lead. Crazy stuff. The Warriors' defense. The Warriors had a top 5 defense, by the way, in being the 8th seed coming into this play-in tournament. And they held the Lakers to 42 points in the first half on 31% shooting. Just 4 buckets total for LeBron, Anthony Davis, and Dennis Schroeder. That's it. Going into halftime. And then whatever the hell happened at halftime, the Warriors came out and could not hold on to the basketball. And Van Gundy, our guest in the first hour yesterday, pointed it out perfectly on the air that if the Warriors lose this game, they'll talk about the third quarter and their carelessness with the basketball. 8 turnovers in the third quarter alone for Golden State, and yet still it was a tight game. A tight game. And that three that LeBron made with no time left, I guess it was, what was it, Caldwell Pope pinned down underneath his own basket inside the paint. No shot of getting that shot off. Finds LeBron out by the Staples Center logo.
Feet.
Way out. 30.
It was deep.
Way deep. It was like Lillard country.
It was deep.
Is what it was like. And then LeBron over Steph. Well, Steph was closing in, but he shoots it up and through with the buzzer for the shot clock going off, less than a minute to go. And that was a 3-point margin of difference in the final score. 103-100. It is LeBron's 97th career game-tying or go-ahead field goal in the final minute of the game. Most in the last quarter century, with the exception of one player, Kobe Bryant, with 101. LeBron does it again. And this is after Curry was making threes, and he was dealing. And it was truly remarkable basketball. Loved every second of it. And I'm, joking that's the greatest game in the history of the NBA play-in tournament, but they'll never have it better. They will never have it better as long as this play-in tournament happens every year in and year out, against the wishes of some people and the board of governors and maybe some players. The NBA will never have it as good as 7 versus 8, where the 7 and 8 teams were the winners of 4 of the 6 previous NBA championships. They will never have it better with an all-time GOAT in LeBron and Steph Curry on either team. They'll never have it better than that. It will always be, like, with all due respect to you, Chris Brockman and the Celtics Nation, a 7 versus 8, like Celtics versus Wizards. That's the way it's going to be from now on. It's going to be like 7 versus 8, scratching to get in. It won't be 7 versus 8, 2 all-time greats as 7 and 8 because of injury-marred seasons that put these two teams in this position. Won't happen again. So we should soak it up in that regard. And I will tell you this, a lot of conversation had about what the Clippers attempted to do successfully, tanking the final season weekend.
You're trying to stay healthy, Rich.
Tanking the final regular season weekend. Tanking it.
I don't like that word.
No, please.
I don't like that word at all.
You know, as well you should. You're
I mean, it
it
works.
makes sense because what team is just like, I want to avoid the Lakers for as long as possible. I want to avoid that team for as long as possible. What message are you sending is what the question was about Ty Lue saying to his team, yeah, we're going to just pull the plug right here, right now. 4 seed is perfect for us because we don't get to see the Lakers if it all works out until the Western Conference Finals. Let's avoid the Lakers as long as possible. And there's the Suns saying, screw it. We'll take whoever's coming our way. And then the sensibility also being, hey, you want to get the Lakers now. You want to get them now when they are staggering still. You don't want to get them when they have their sea legs under them. You just don't want it. Well, guess what? They got their sea legs under them after halftime. This looks like already after last night, and I know LeBron didn't want to play in this game. The Lakers didn't want to play in the play-in tournament. Didn't want to have the pressure of last night upon them. And the first half, it looked like they didn't want to have the pressure of last night put upon them. And the Warriors came out with the proverbial house money and didn't even need Steph Curry in the first half, shooting all sorts of threes. Didn't have to depend on him. Played really smart offense, excellent team basketball, terrific defense, and then did it throughout the entire game with the exception of obviously those third quarter turnovers that really hurt them. Despite losing that halftime double-digit lead that was courtesy of Steph jarring a step-back 3 after weaving his way through the Lakers' perimeter defense. How great was that moment at the end of the first half? We forget about the way the first half ended because we're obviously focused on the way the game ended. You know what? The only way that and I know this is not an appropriate comparison. How's that for a setup? But you know you see with those competitions at dog shows
they're weaving in
where
and
they're
out
weaving in and out of these poles.
Yep.
That's the way it looked like to me with the 3 Lakers that were on the 3-point arc that Steph kind of dribbled his way through those poles of defense only to step back a 3 right at the buzzer to give the Warriors a double-digit halftime lead, and then they lost it. They got it back. Then they lost it. Fourth quarter tie game. Just loved every second of it. And for the Lakers, they took the hit in the mouth. They finally tasted blood, right? The whole concept of you don't know you're in a fight until you're hit in the mouth first. Be hard-pressed for me to be sitting back here and saying, you know what? You want the Lakers right away because the Warriors got him right away. And LeBron showed why he's still LeBron. Might not be 100%, whether it's his high ankle sprain or his vision after getting smacked in the face by Draymond Green. And once again, I'll repeat what I tweeted last night. That was a common foul. That's like a bad boys era foul.
Oh, yeah.
That's a basketball I can respect with a season potentially on the line type foul. LeBron's coming at you. He's the size of a tight end. Draymond can't really jump. I mean, you see his jump shot. He barely gets off the ground. I don't think he was looking to injure LeBron at all, but just try and prevent LeBron from getting to that rim as he was approaching it, as LeBron always does. And it does appear that he did poke him in the eye.
Oh, he definitely poked him.
It definitely looks like he poked him in the eye because LeBron was clearly staggered about it. One of those things where he wanted everyone to know about it seems like, and he was telling, hey, let everyone know I got hit in the eye.
Rich, I can't really tell. I see 3 of you.
I know that.
Right?
Just aim for the host in the middle, Chris.
Oh, so you mean aim for you.
That said,
got it.
As much as everybody likes to point out of LeBron's penchant for letting you know what ails him and what's going on with him, he still jars the shot, doesn't he? Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.